Let the 75th Hunger Games begin. May the odds be ever in your favor.
The ones that wanna play, always wanna go, but you never wanna stay. And we are the ones that wanna choose, always wanna play, but you never wanna lose. Aerials in the sky. When you lose small mind, you free your life. Life is a waterfall. We drink from the river, then we turn around and put up our walls. Swimming through the void, we hear the word. We lose ourselves, but we find it all. 'Cause we are the ones that wanna play, always wanna go, but you never wanna stay. We are the ones that wanna choose, always wanna play, but you never wanna lose. Eternal prize. Do you want it back?
Yes, please.
With the power of Blue Shift, we are falling into a black hole and entering a world of hypercubes. Like we've seen within previous work, this flowering world of hypercubes depends on a system of up is down, of course referring to the torus. What goes up must come down. Following the way of water, a river, a waterway, or crossing an ocean, It's through water that energy worlds are linked with each other, though this way of water seems to be a roadmap, and where we fall into a black hole, also known as the underworld, and the king of the underworld often depicted as a clown that lives inside a circus. Guys, I'm using the song Aerials of System of a Down, as the latter showing us this roadmap through the desert, also called the astral universe or energy world, that's bumping into a circus that's centered around a hypercube flower.
Yeah, this is the place, man. They'll never fuck with it here.
Life is a waterfall. We're one in the river and one again after the fall. Swimming through the void, we hear the word. We lose ourselves, but we find it all. 'Cause we are the ones that want.
You approach the turnstiles and know that when you get there, you have to give the man $2 or he won't let you inside. But when you get there, everything goes wrong.
Wanna choose, always wanna play, but you never wanna lose.
Maybe a Rotarian shoves you and you think, what's happening here? What's going on?
The reason of this is probably the V-shape of our crater.
No fault of mine.
By being in the status of dazed and confused and experiencing the emotion of fear, we enter this circus while playing with the Trinity. Like we've seen within previous work, the Trinity holds the dielectric, magnetic and electric power of the ship, the Taurus, the engine of your energy body, which we probably use to travel from one dimension to another. But we lost our ship in a current, which Wild River floats into a black hole. Like highlighted in Hollywood movies, it's symbology for energy bodies being trapped into a black hole fall.
Because the rod has been hijacked by the beast machine. And we are tilted, our Merkaba fields are tilted. The Merkaba fields are progressively going from what should be a natural counterspin spiral set. The top is electrical, it should spin clockwise. The bottom is magnetic, it should spin counterclockwise. And they are part of the beast system that literally harnesses a body in order to drag it into black hole fall and keep some facsimile of its form intact. So they are part of the vampire hijack machine.
We are now seemingly being trapped inside this current experience we call the world. To me, a holographic projection that might only exist within our mind. Its foundation is located in the desert, fueled by an energy field that has shifted through a 23.5-degree deviation, that of an original field. This all to extract energy or maybe a code to another world through a 47-degree wormhole.
Oh, oh, oh. 47 for sure.
That wind. Of course it's that bloody wind.
Eventually, all this extracted energy in motion, called E-motion, will act as a fuel for a pirate ship, like we have seen in the desert video. And now this stranded ship in the desert needs our creative power to set sail for the ocean.
Turn on the radio. Turn on the tape machine. Roll your goddamn window down. Let us taste this cool desert wind. Oh yes, this is what it's all about. Total control now.
On Arrakis, we need to cultivate desert power.
Within the walking over water sequence, I tried to show my audience that the power to float and navigate a ship in the middle of the desert is powered through the fourth phase of water, which is a small hexagon-shaped lattice layered structure that enables ships to float on a water surface and powers the human blood veins to stand and oppose this force we call gravity.
That seemed almost magical. Every one of the tests that we did showed that this water was different from ordinary water. The individual molecules actually linked together to form a hexagon, and then many hexagons. We can understand why snowflakes are hexagonal. They actually form from the fourth phase of water. After some time, there seemed to be enough evidence to indicate that this was a distinctly different phase of water. You might ask what implications it has for us. We're approximately 2/3 water. Most of the water inside of our cells, they're filled with fourth phase water.
Within the energy world of the desert, this pirate entity seems to lack the power of the fourth phase of water, in which the latter generates a magnetic vortex, or rather a charge, that creates a current between black and white, the proton and the electron, the sun and the moon, red and blue shift, and the positive and the negative. Within the macro to micro, you see the system everywhere. The hexagon structure that seems to serve as a foundation for the strongest building block out there. Please, if you are not familiar with this concept of water, you can watch my video discovering the fourth phase of water.
You look in the microscope, and what you find looks like this: unending flow through the tube. It can go on for a full day, as long as we've looked at it. So it's free. Light is driving this flow in a tube. No extra source of energy other than light. So if you think about the human and think about the energy that's being absorbed in your water and in your cells, it's possible that we may use some of this energy to drive biological processes in a way that you had not envisioned before.
Yeah, in a way you have not visioned before. So with the power of light, we see structured, honeycomb layered easy water generating a charge and current through a tube, which material is hydrophilic, or is a molecular entity that is attracted to water. Reminds me of a wormhole. Where we all following the sun that's fueling a current and finding its way to the other side through using a wormhole while crossing the plasma universe, or rather an ocean or plasma sea, from crater to crater. But let's go back to Jack, who seems to be stranded between two worlds in the middle of the desert. We notice the symbology of the chicken and the cosmic egg. Both referring to the Archon entity of Abrasax, aka the Solar System or the Rainbow Bridge. A construct highlighted in previous work, in which both seem to be linked to this goat figure called Baphomet. Within this work referring to the Pentacles of Venus portal, in which the latter creates a pentagram within an 8-year and 13 rotation cycle in the night sky.
Sparrow, I can. What say you about the condition of this tack line? It be proper to my eyes, sir. Proper. It is neither proper nor suitable, sir. It is not acceptable nor adequate. It is in obvious fact an abomination. Begging your pardon, sir. But perhaps if you gave a man another chance, shall I?
Look at your neighbor. Be brave enough to see yourself. Your own reflection cast back at you. Each reflected in each.
We have lost speed and therefore time. Precious time. Which cannot be recovered once lost. Do you understand? I can.
Be brave enough to see yourself. Your own reflection cast back at you. Each reflected in each.
Do you now? It will all have to be redone. All of it. And let this serve as a lesson to the lot of you. Doldrum, sir, has the entire crew on edge. I have no sympathy for any of you feculent maggots and no more patience to pretend otherwise. Gentlemen, I'll wash my hands of this weirdness.
Jack Sparrow is taken, body and soul, to a place not of death, but punishment. The worst fate a person can bring upon himself, stretching on forever. Jack Sparrow is taken, body and soul, to a place not of death, but punishment. The worst fate a person can bring upon himself, stretching on forever.
Both Jack the Sun and Baphomet seem to be locked up on a stranded ship without desert power and are experiencing a world of self-reflection. A world similar to ours that seems to be an eternal torture and separation for the soul within an illusion.
Each reflected in each.
Nothing here is said. These can't be as accurate as modern charts.
No. But it leads to more places.
Over the edge. Over again. Sunrise sets. Flash of green.
Not sunset. Sundown. And rise. Up.
Within the Pirates of Caribbean sequence, the makers of the movie actually showing us a way how to escape this world of black and white, aka the locker, when stranded in a ship without desert power. But before we are diving into this concept, how did we got here in the first place?
But I can still tell you what it means. So, remember when we were downstairs in the age of Capricorn and you saw Tauret? And you can see here is Tauret, and here you see is, it's actually Anubis. Anubis is riding something that we call the mare. It's called the plow, right? And the plow in Egypt was considered the beloved. Mare meant the beloved, and it was a tool for opening a path for the flow. It was an irrigation ditch, and it was also a tool for seeding, fertility. And so he's riding the mare to create an electromagnetic current that spirals out from the age of Cancer all the way out to create our perception of time and space. And so he's riding the mare to create an electromagnetic current that spirals out from the age of Cancer all the way out to create our perception of time and space.
What are zodiacal constellations? Where are they located? The Earth revolves around the Sun on its own orbital plane. The plane in which the Earth orbits the Sun is called the ecliptic. The ecliptic intersects at roughly the middle point of the celestial sphere. The circle of the ecliptic is divided into 12 equal parts. Zodiacal constellations are located in the belt of this intersection.
We are all carbon-based life forms. So this is the carbon base, the carbon atom. That's why there's 12 brothers, there's 12 this and that show up all the time, is because the atomic weight of carbon is 12.
The circle of the ecliptic is divided into 12 equal parts. Zodiacal constellations are located in the belt of this intersection.
The calendar here starts in the age of Cancer because this is the moment we need to have a tool for measuring time and space again.
We have lost speed and therefore time. Precious time. It cannot be recovered once lost. Do you understand? I can.
Victor. It's a clock. It's a clock. Oh my God, it's a clock. Virus, you're a genius. You're a genius.
Rock. So as this thing comes into existence, the theory of multidimensional reality, the core of it is this graph. Basically explains how matter comes into this dimension from that other dimension.
Within previous work, we noticed the tongue of Kali, done by Jack the Sun onto a rock, aka the proton, that evolves into the star sign or age of Cancer, in which a letter centered within the ecliptic and the zodiac line, also known as the Ring of Power.
So as this thing comes into existence,
Now we're being followed by rocks. Never heard that before.
The earliest recorded mention of Kali dates back to ancient Sanskrit text, where it is believed to be derived from the root word kala, meaning time or change. In this sense, Kali represents the cycle of time, perpetually devouring and regenerating herself, like the cyclical nature of birth, growth, decay, and rebirth. So, with Jack's tongue, we see a regeneration through a cyclical wave or sine wave of birth, growth, decay, and rebirth. It's the Analemma sine wave, the engine of the up is down system that enables a ship to sail from one dimension to another. The ring of power is cycled or waved within our current perception of time. The analemma wave of the beginning is the end, and cycling done within 365 days, in which the power of 12 and the Sun and Moon system go forth between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. It's a system that actually works as a transition mechanism to bring forth energy from one dimension to another.
Listen. It's rocking the ship. We're rocking the ship.
Yeah, a world of black and white hypercubes. Referring to the Sun and Moon system, are following the way of water to find this Phoenix gemstone, to transfer their papa from another dimension.
Now, you see that right there? That's a human. It could be a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. And those are the signs. Every sign is in your body. Starting from Aries at the head, Taurus in your neck, Gemini is your twins, which that will be from your shoulders to your hand, the twins. Then Cancer is the chest or the breast if you're a female, Leo is the heart, Virgo is the intestines, is the sign of Cerberus that cleans your body, Libra is the kidneys, alkalinity and acidity, the balance in your body, Scorpio is the genital area, the sexual organs, Sagittarius is the thighs and the hips, Capricorn is the knees and the skeletal system, Aquarius is the chins, and Pisces is the 2 feet. So you see the sine wave goes through your body constantly, all day. So when people ask you what's your sign, all they're asking is, where was the sun? See that symbol right there? That's the sun. Where was the sun when you were born? In which sign? Okay, in which sign was the sun? That's all they're asking. But you have all of them in your body. If you take one of them out, there's going to be a part of your body missing. Therefore, you're not a complete human. Wake up, people. It's time to learn this science. Now, did you ever see that in school? A dot, a line, and a circle? Well, they didn't teach you that is, Ra, and El. Israel. Have you ever heard that name, Israel? Well, or Isis is the moon. Ra, or Rael, is this. Not Rael, but Ra is the sun, and then El is Saturn, which is matter. Kronos, the timekeeper. So when your soul comes, your spirit first, you come from spirit.
Be careful.
And then you get a soul, which has 7 conditions. All these planets right here, the 7 planets. Okay. Then your soul radiates and you get a body. A physical body that is controlled by Saturn or Kronos, Father Time.
This is the carrier wave that carries the information for either the elements or us.
This quest highlights a sine wave that is coming from a staff, in which only the sun is able to manifest a power strong enough to transfer energy between two dimensions, the zodiac sine wave, in which the latter creates an electromagnetic current to create this perception of time and space, starting in the age of Cancer.
Well, they didn't teach you that that is, Ra, and El.
In my eyes, indisposed, in disguises no one knows, hides the face, lies the snake.
So guys, at this point, Jack the Sun is still not capable of powering the ship, a Taurus, through the desert energy world, as he lacks the presence of a construction that could generate a flow through the fourth phase of water.
We're driving this event, and what we found is a surprise. We found that if we take a hollow tube made of hydrophilic material, just like a straw, and we put the straw in the water, we found constant, unending flow that goes through. So here's the experiment. Here's the tube, and you can see that the tube is put in the water. We fill it the inside just to make sure it's completely filled inside, and put it into the water. And the water contains some spheres, some particles, so we can detect any movements that occur. And you look in the microscope, and what you find looks like this: unending flow through the tube. It can go on for a full day, as long as we've looked at it. So it's free. Light is driving this flow in a tube. No extra source of energy other than light. Light is driving this flow in a tube. No extra source of energy other than light.
Even though Jack, aka Prometheus, brings and radiates light that is stolen from the gods,
but punishment, the worst fate a person can bring upon himself, stretching on forever.
within a sinking ship, this unending flow or current only starts off when going through a tube. Or a wormhole. And a world of self-reflection with a up is down. and the symbology of the chimney. Following Alice into a wormhole, we notice the presence of time.
L is Saturn, which is matter. Kronos, the timekeeper. So when your soul comes, your spirit first, you come from spirit, and then you get a soul.
So through a chimney, the transition from spirit to matter finalizes through radiating a soul through the sun and moon system by a system of timekeeping. Within the chimney, we can also see the symbology of the ship, the Taurus.
Goodness, what if I should fall right through the center of the earth and come out the other side where people walk upside down? Oh, but that's silly.
I keep falling upside down, which is another reference to the zodiac sine wave. Again, we notice the chimney on top of the world, decorated as a place probably known to us as the North Pole, but a place full of people. Notable to see is the keyhole while passing the chimney and the earth. So the chimney is a construct in which the spirit falls into a black hole fall and is experiencing a transition from spirit into matter through a system of time.
And so he's riding the mare to create an electromagnetic current that spirals out from the age of Cancer all the way out to create our perception of time and space. The calendar here starts in the age of Cancer because this is the moment we need to have a tool for measuring time and space again.
Visible is the sine wave that is connected to Jack the Sun, overshadowing its light through the day and night cycle, while having Jack's eyes closed. Cancer is known as the northern gate of the Sun. Very few of Cancer's stars are visible to the naked eye, and was often considered the dark sign, described as black and without eyes.
Now, in one of my videos, I made a graphic of the analemma. And that brought me to the sine wave.
It's no one puts this stuff here. These are old. This is the sine wave, the sin of Eve. Adam is the cosine, the co-sinner.
So it is within the age of Cancer, and that the zodiac sine wave activated an electromagnetic current, probably done through a signal or radio wave.
Hydrogen times pi. Told you.
Strong sucker, too. I got it! I'm patched in!
All right, let me hear it.
Cancer was the backdrop to the Sun's most northerly position in the sky, the summer solstice, in ancient times, when the Earth's sun-facing side was maximally tilted towards the south. and the Gregorian calendar kept within a few days of June 21st. This is the date when the Sun is directly overhead as far north as 23.5 degrees.
But the Earth is wobbling.
We are using the celestial system, as it hides the mechanics of a toroid in which the ecliptic, the ring of power, and the analemma fuel and open up this 47-degree wormhole through the mechanics of torsion, a movement between the equatorial plane and the ecliptic plane. While we are experiencing a perception of time and space by following the Sun and the ecliptic in the sky within a solar year of 365 days, this gearbox of rings then generates multiple layers of a solar, tropical and sidereal time frame. Maybe it is something to relate to Wim's time layer theory. We can also see the resemblance between the celestial system and that of the atom.
And so it starts here. Now as we come out, you're going to see a lot of the figures that we stole in the first Hippostyle Hall downstairs. The one I like to show you is, let's see if we can find Osiris. Here he is, okay? Remember downstairs he was taking that first step and looking back, and here you see him, he's taking the first step. He's got basically, it's like a little bird here at his feet. Some people think that's Sirius, but this is Sothis, this is Sirius, just like we saw downstairs. This is the image of Horus with the double crown of Upper and Lower Egypt on the erect lotus pillar. This is Un, Nun, shadowless consciousness. He takes the first step. If you take these line to the center of Taret's belly and you take the erect pillar to the center of Taret's belly, you have a 23.5 degree angle. This first step is when we fall out of balance. The falling of the axis, we fall into form.
Then your soul radiates and you get a body, a physical body that is controlled by Saturn or Kronos, Father Time.
And so he begins the hero's journey in the night cycle. The other direction back into center again, right? So we spiral out.
So as this thing comes into existence, it makes a path counterclockwise and it traces out a toroid shape.
Below our Earth, there are 7 subterranean planets according to Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, and you will read there are 7 subterranean hellish, they actually call them heavenly planets, below our horizontal disk plane Earth, planet, and then above us we have Moon, Mercury, Venus, Sun, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. And so it's a 15 planetary system, and this is the true cosmos.
Lost power. What's really fascinating is Anubis is also known as the embalmer, right? So the embalmer was responsible for putting the linens, the mummification linens. But here he is embalming us in the electromagnetic field, the veil of forgetfulness, right? The Earth's magnetic field. This is this is falling into form in a perception of time and space in a container.
Yes, we come through here from hell. When matter crystallizes, we come from the Milky Way. The Milky Way is up here in the eighth, this is the firmament. This is the Van Allen belt, whatever they want to call it. They've got all names. There's only one thing. There's only Tauruses. Nothing else exists.
What if I should fall right through the center of Earth and come out the other side where people walk upside down? Oh, but that's silly.
The summer solstice, the power of blue shift, and the 23.5 degree fall that within ancient time was situated at the position of Cancer, is still called the Tropic of Cancer, even though the corresponding position in the sky now occurs in the constellation of Taurus. This is due to the precession of the equinox. This means that within the constellation of Taurus we would find the chimney, from which energy dwells into this zodiac cycle.
As we move further out, we start to see some other important structures. The Sun is at the centre of the diagram, and to the north, slightly off-axis, sits the Pleiades. Further out, you will also notice a faint blue band that forms an oval called the Gould Belt. This is a vast ring of stars which is slowly expanding, but seems to be gravitationally locked together. At the centre of all of this sits another really important structure called the local chimney. This structure is actually off-axis from the galactic plane, and this matches the offset of the Gould Belt as well. At its narrowest, it is 800 light years across, and it forms an hourglass shape that we should all be familiar with.
Goodness. What if I should fall right through the center of Earth?
The first step, if you take these line to the center of Taret's belly and you take the erect pillar to the center of Taret's belly, you have a 23.5 degree angle.
And it forms an hourglass shape that we should all be familiar with. Our galactic Birkeland current would follow a decaying sine wave pattern, and therefore could be angled at 20 degrees at this location. Could a Z-pinch have formed a long time ago centered on the Pleiades, which explosively created an expanding ring of stars? This event could have cleared out the local plasma, leaving what we see as the local chimney, which is oriented in the same plane as the Gould Belt. Now notice that Taurus, the constellation, is pronounced in English much like Taurus, the shape, and Taurus is the constellation containing the Pleiades.
So with the precession of the equinox, energy from the Milky Way river dwells into the zodiac cycle, onto its current position through the chimney, stretching on between the constellations of Taurus and Ophiuchus, and so crossing this vast part of the northern sky, now known as the 47-degree wormhole.
This Nun, shadowless consciousness, he takes the first step. If you take these line to the center of Taret's belly and you take the erect pillar to the center of Taret's belly, you have a 23.5 degree angle. This first step is when we fall out of balance. This is the falling of the axis. We fall into form. Held within electromagnetic energy. When that falls, when the electromagnetic field falls, game over, we start all over again. Cycle within cycles within cycles.
So is it possible that Osiris is taking his first step after the cataclysm?
You betcha.
Oh, perfect.
Right on the money.
Perfect symbolism.
Right. Yes.
So that dates how old Osiris is.
Yes, absolutely. Here you
Wow.
see Leo right here. So Cataclysm, right? There's
Right.
Leo.
Oh, there's Leo.
Yep.
Okay.
Here you have Sothis Sirius. That's the matriarchal. This is shadowless consciousness. There's a moment where everything stops spinning. Magnetic field comes down, right? The earth stops spinning. And then we take our first step, we tilt again, and we begin it all over again.
May the odds be ever in your favor. 10, 9.
Falling down a chimney and ending up within an arena that actually holds a clockwork. You see Katniss, the hunter or archer, referring to either to Orion and or Sagittarius. Starts off the battle for surviving and finding a way out of here.
It's a clock. It's a clock.
My, what a peculiar place to have a party.
With the chimney, we have started off of finding the entrance. We will continue to follow both the sun and Yachin the moon in their journey to summon Papa Kronos into this dimension. And where there's an entrance, there must also be an exit. Guys, thank you for watching. Much love. Radiation matters.
Aerials in the sky. When you lose small mind, you free your life. Life is a waterfall. We drink from the river, then we turn around and put up our walls. Swimming through the void, we hear the word. We lose ourselves, but we find it all. Cause we are the ones that wanna play. Always wanna go, but you never wanna stay. And we are the ones that wanna choose. Always wanna play, but you never wanna lose. Eternal pride.